So as Abram just mentioned, I'll go through quickly what the Regional Desert Locust Alliance is, and a short update on the current situation in the Greater Horn of Africa. The RDLA was founded in February 2020 by 7 NGOs, including Acted, Concern Worldwide, NRC, Oxfam, and the Joanniter. As of today, we are more than 60 members, including local, national, and international NGOs, covering 9 countries in the Greater Horn of Africa. The RDLA was developed in response to the increased threat of the desert locust to food security and livelihoods, and is based on 3 main pillars, which are carrying out joint advocacy, contributing to a well-coordinated and appropriate locust response, and the idea of supporting agency in having an harmonized and technically sound programming approach. As of today, we have released 4 advocacy statements, which are all available on Relief Web. We've also produced 4 mapping exercises with the objective of ensuring better coordination and avoid overlaps among agencies responding on the ground. We are in the process of drafting a guidance note with the objective of having harmonized and technically sound program approach across agency responding. And as mentioned earlier, we are now over 60 national and international NGOs, also working in coordination with UN agencies and government authorities. Lastly, the RDLA supports ongoing discussion to contribute to research that look at the impact of desert locusts across the region. So these were the 4 advocacy statements that have been released, the last of which was released in July, focusing on the needs for pastoralist and agro-pastoralist households that have been impacted by both the locust crisis and the COVID-19 pandemic. So for the mapping exercise, the RDLA conducts it on a monthly basis, and it captures the food security and livelihood activities of all its members in the Greater Horn of Africa. This report is shared widely with the humanitarian community, and as of a couple of months also with FAO, who develops a joint map on a monthly basis, highlighting the activities ongoing in the response. As for what concerns the technical guidance, the RDLA is developing the guidance focused on food security and livelihood responses. And the document is built on the experience of all the members and partners contributing to it on the ground. The plan is currently to release it by end of this month. For what concerns an update, I've put here the map from FAO. As you can see from the map, in Ethiopia, immature swarms are present in the Somali region, in western Ogaden, and within a large area of freshly green vegetation in Afar region. On 7 August, an immature swarm from northwest Kenya appeared also in the south of Ethiopia, and 2 swarms from Yemen also invaded northeast Ethiopia at the end of July. In Somalia, the immature swarms persist in northwest of the country, with additional immature swarms appearing in the northeast. And a low number of adults are also present in the central region of Galgaduud. Ground and aerial control operations are ongoing in both Ethiopia and Somalia, but there are reports of destruction of crops, mainly of sorghum, in both countries. In Kenya, a few spring-bred swarms persist in Turkana and Samburu counties, so in the northwest, where aerial control operations continue, and a few swarms last crossed into Uganda end of July. According to FAO, Kenya has beaten the locust upsurge thanks to control operation and the migration northwards, but food insecurity is expected to deteriorate due to the damage that the desert locusts have caused on both crops and pasture for livestock. Nevertheless, Kenya went from 29 counties affected in February to 2 remaining today, and the expectation is that in the next 3 weeks, Kenya will be free of large-scale infestation altogether. Although a threat remains, of a potential reinfestation at the end of the year. Again, there are also some reports of impact on crops, for example, in Turkana, in northeast of the country, where sorghum crop production dropped by 15 to 20%. Overall, the damages are still being assessed, but abnormal poor livestock body conditions in areas where desert locusts were present were reported, indicating limited grazing despite the good rains. Lastly, in South Sudan and in Sudan, at least one immature swarm from Kenya arrived at the beginning of August in the south near Capoeira and was seen moving northwards in the following days. Ground control operations are ongoing, and in Sudan there have been no reports of swarms arriving from Kenya as originally forecasted. So far, only a few scattered adults are present in the summer breeding areas where vegetation has become green and conditions are favorable for breeding. I think an important part to highlight is that even before the current challenges that the region is facing, East Africa was considered among the most food insecure regions in the world, with nearly 28 million people in IPC 3 or worse. Although the ongoing and upcoming food security assessment and IPC analysis will soon provide a better picture of food insecurity, the current estimates suggest that the compounding impact of COVID-19, the desert locust, and the recent flooding may drive the population facing food insecurity up to 50.6 million by the end of this year. The desert locust invasion by itself is also estimated to affect about 2 million people in the region. And in addition to all these challenges, rainfall for the period from October to December are projected to be unfavorable due to a risk of below average rains across the region. In terms of planned and ongoing responses, from the month of July, we had 30 organizations reporting activities across 6 countries in the region. Ethiopia being the country with the biggest ongoing and planned responses. I wanted to highlight that these are food security and livelihood responses that have been reported. In Ethiopia, the response target over 143,000 pastoralists, agropastoralists, and sedentary farmers, and over 753,000 people are being targeted through trainings and awareness-raising activities, being funded by a wide range of donors, including OCHA, USAID, FAO, and others. In Somalia and Somaliland, we had 12 organizations reporting planned or ongoing food security and livelihood responses across 15 regions in the country, targeting over 226,000 individuals with cash in kind and voucher responses, and over 66,000 with training and awareness raising activities. Lastly, in Kenya, we had 19 organizations reporting FSL activities, targeting over 183,000 individuals and over 7 million being targeted through trainings and awareness raising activities. Worth mentioning is Mercy Corp implementing a first loss insurance cover for 300,000 farmers affected by the locust. And in Uganda, South Sudan, and Sudan, we have ongoing smaller responses. 4 organizations reported in Uganda, targeting over 146,000 individuals. In South Sudan, World Vision reported training and awareness raising activities targeting over 159,000 individuals in 2 states, and Concern Worldwide in Sudan reporting FSL activities targeting over 25,000 agropastoralists, refugees, and IDPs. So that's all from my side. As you can see, quite a few organizations that have taken part in the reporting and the advocacy statements. And I'll give back to Abraham the floor.